Morning, boys and girls. Jack Milner here for wheelofbetting.co.uk. Going to have a look at the weekend racing. There's really good at jump racing from Wetherby, Warwick, and Kempton, where it's to feature Lanzarote Hurdle. Similarly, Punchestown as well. Duvan, the favourite for the Supreme Motors Hurdle. Stupid price. Absolutely ridiculous price. 41,523 is on for the Moscow Flyer Novices Hurdle. Won last year by last year's Supreme winner Verteur, trained by William Williams, owned by Richard Ruby Ride. So people are putting two and two together. But Verteur should be in an absolute completely different parish to this thing. Only ever beaten 22 rivals of a timber in France, and since making his debut for the Moulins Yard at the end of last year, but silly price will ignore him. There is one bet on the card, however, that's Apache Jack in the opening beginner chase for 2.5 miles. Sandra Hughes has taken over permanently for a late Father Desi now, and this horse held his form really well last term. Third in the Albert Bartlett, then followed up with finishing fourth at Punchestown. He's got he's got form tied in with Briar Hale and some of the best officers from last year. He should make a winning debut over Timber, and for some reason he's actually odds against. There's a horse in there for JP. Chariot on Earth for again Walsham Mullins bought after running well in points, and he comes with a lofty reputation. But Apache Jack should be far too good for him, and around the 2-1 mark, 9-4. He deserves to be backed. As mentioned, it's Lanzarote Hurdle at Kempton. And there is a couple of decent bets in there. Horse called Cocktails at Dawn should win the 2.5 mile handicap chase for Barry Garrity and Nicky Henderson. We were on this last time out when didn't quite. His jumping led him down at Ascot, but he remains seriously well handicapped based on his hurdles form. And again, reputation-wise, what he came with over Timber. He fell in an obvious chase at Catterick when Andrew Tinkler was on board, but I'm not a big fan of his. He got him beat at 4-11 and a handicap hurdle at Chipstow when letting a front runner go along in front. But again, 135, he's got from a unrevised mark. The form of that second at Ascot looks good, and he should be suited by the step up in trip by an extra 2 furlongs. 13-8, 7-4 with a couple of firms, but 13-8 across. That looks a very fair price. TV2 should land the feature for Nick Williams and Lizzie Kelly. Continues to be in tremendous form. Rev the Sevilla winning over Christmas, and TV2's form of a novice hurdle at Newbury's work could not have worked out better, and he remains chucked in for a mark 134. He finished third behind Outsam at Newbury for their Hennessy meeting. Thomas Brown was second. For your information, Rebecca Curtis was fourth. They both come out when absolutely hacked up, both in high grade 2. The winner looks like they're going to something like the Neptune, whereas Thomas Brown's going to go for the Albert Bartlett. And again, 134 seriously underestimates him. Nick Williams has got a cracking record on the race. He's won 2 of the past 6 renewals. Liz Kelly can use her £7 claim, and around the 11-2 mark, what are the odds first 3? I got on in the week, what are the odds first 4? I think it's an absolutely cracking bet, and effectively an each way bet to nothing. Del Arca's respect coming back over Timber, disappointed with fences, but there's been a lot of money for Hello George and Warrington, the officers. The latter, especially Greatrix horses, seem to have turned the corner, but no, we'll stick with TV2. Another red letter day for Nick Williams and Lizzie Kelly. Again, we'll go to Warwick, where it's a classic chase. Often sees a Grand National trial. I backed Shotgun Paddy last year, and I've got no reason to desert him this time round. It made a Horlicks of the second in the Welsh National Chip, so when pulled up shortly afterwards by Leighton Aspel. But he won this race last year really well. I've got to swear that he hacked up by 6 lengths from 145. He then far from disgrace, finishing second in the 4 mile at Cheltenham Festival. Then the exertions of Chepstow in the handicap are relented. He's now been lowered an extra £2, and from a £2 higher mark, he should be able to follow up last year's 8-length success. Hopefully we've got 4 for you there, and a nice little muggy each way, Yankee each way, lucky 15. And whenever you punt in this afternoon, be lucky.